If Woody had gone right to the police, this would never have happened.
Uh-oh.
So, there are liberties being taken, like, there's going to be an increased amount of shit talk.
Oh, I have to remind myself I'm here willingly.
Catch one with a little bit of attitude, big guy?
Man, you champion son.
Well, it's a kangaroo court.
What do you mean how is the NFL a kangaroo court?
Could you please let me explain why?
No, I don't want to hear this garbage. Give me an answer to the questions I asked you.
What the fuck are we doing?
Come on with it, baby!
Thanks, boy.
Italian. I'll talk to you later.
Let's get to the scene.
All right. My undercarriage. For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
Oh, wow, it's been a while. Hello, and thank you for tuning into another edition of the Third of Management Podcast here only on the Do Champions Media Network. You can find me on Twitter at Pat_Bruknis8. And as well, I'm here with Student Body Right. You can find him on Twitter at Student Body Right. Student, it's been a while. What's up?
Yo! Student Body
Yo!
Right here. Resident knucklehead of the Do Champions Podcast. Third Manageable is back for a fourth season? I don't know. Pat is still wearing his hat like TIP coming live from the VIP. We'd like to thank all our sponsors: Beauty Pools, Kayak Pools, the Lardon Construction Group, Ilio DePaulo's, Sons of Erie, Fat Boy Surf Club, CXC, your sister's ass. We'd like to thank Pat for being a grown man, possibly moving to Buffalo, New York at the top of the call sheet. Right here, forgot to add it. You've been spending some time in Buffalo, New York, my friend. How's that been going, homie?
Yeah, it's been going really good. I'm getting really familiar with the area.
Good or well?
It's going great. It's going great.
The word is well. Yeah.
Well, it's going well. Yeah, I was actually at that Bills Chiefs game. That also was at the Bills Jets game for the final game at Highmark Stadium. That was a great time. I was there actually last weekend. That was a great time.
Yeah, I didn't go to the last game. Just walk us through briefly before we get into this. Today is going to be talking all about the Buffalo O-line deep dive. We have some big news coming up. We have some big decisions to make, as well as some big, news clips to recant on. Pat, but just talking about your experience, kind of your first time, lifelong Bills fan. I think that comes from a family lineage. Just talk about your experience the last game there as we approach. It really feels like we're getting into it now for our revamp for a new season. How was that last game you went to, bud?
Yeah, actually, the last game I went to, the tailgate was electric. I was over by the Bills Mafia house, met up with a few friends there. Just all around the stadium, there was a vibe, kind of like it was kind of like a happy vibe at the same time. It was kind of a sad vibe too, because like last game at the Ralph, we knew we were not going to host a playoff game, because we needed the Dolphins to lose their pay. Whatever it was just, there was a mixture of a vibe there, but it was a good time. Walking the stadium, you got a token, a Highmark Stadium final game token, and you also got a towel, like the one I just ripped off my wall right here.
Why is it stuck on your wall, Pat?
Because
I put it on your wall, Pat?
Because I put thumbtacks on it. Hey, you got to keep this, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it was a great. Oh yeah, it was a great time though. Before I don't know if you guys saw it on television, on TV. But before the game, Terry Pagula was out talking, thanking the fans, thanking the staff, thanking the players, and everybody for all the memories over the years. Then actually after the game, it was actually they played the song Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, the setup, yeah. Johnny Resnick, all those cats, yeah.
Yeah. Tre'Davious White was one of the last ones on the field. They're showing highlights from, the 80s, the 90s. Then obviously they started showing Josh Allen. The crowd started erupting. It was a great time, though.
That's awesome. And, hopefully that's not the last time we'll see Tre'Davious White in the Buffalo Bills uniform. But get at the top of the hour of the O-line. There is one guy who I think fans are seriously underestimating his impact for the success of the way we play football. The exit of Aaron Kromer. Aaron Kromer, after a lofted and storied NFL career, has retired, and it's going to bring about some change here. So, Pat, I'll start it to you. Aaron Kromer, a guy that Eric Wood references. Shit, I said Eric Wood. A guy Eric Wood references a ton. A guy Alec Anderson references a ton. Deion Dawkins. You saw a ton of player tributes. Talk to me about the departure of Aaron Kromer, and what do you think fans really need to capture in his exit of One Bills Drive?
Yeah, no, when I think of Aaron Kromer leaving, I think about the continuity, because as you saw before Aaron Kromer came back to Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills offensive line was not as good as it is now. I know some fans want to say it was worse than it was 2 years ago when we made it to the AFC Championship game. But when you see guys like Alec Anderson, Deion Dawkins, guys that are very good, congratulations to Alec Anderson, who just got paid. Spencer Brown, you see all these guys talk super highly of Aaron Kromer. Yeah. And now you depart. There's whoever takes over has some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Kromer, the thing about what he brought to the Buffalo Bills was cohesion. He brought sound technique, and he brought consistency. In my notes here, that's what offensive play is all about. He set up great pass protection, incorporating the running backs in pro sets, and he set up a pounding run attack that allowed James Cook to cook. Aaron Kromer was a blessing here. He had a lot of opportunities, I think, to become a head coach, and he found his niche in the trenches, in the gridiron, and inflicting the nasty. We had a lot of nasty players go through this, of which he coached. Richie Incognito and Eric Wood, Deion Dawkins, and Mitch Morse, Alec Anderson. He imparted. It's very sad that we do have to see him go. One of the things I make fun of all the time is, remember the uproar when Chad Hall left. This is not at all. Yeah. This is not at all the same thing. Aaron Kromer, by everyone we talk to, players and people who really appreciate sound offensive line scheme and play, are not minimalizing the effect of his departure from this coaching staff. Just to be clear, a little programming note: that wasn't a Joe Brady let go or anything like that. We were told pretty early in the season by some people inside that building that this was predetermined, that this was going to be Aaron's last year. This was not a Joe Brady release. This was a cognizant riding off into the sunset. So that's kind of what I want to lead off to, because there's a lot of offensive line decisions we do have to make, and one of the penultimate ones is Connor McGovern versus David Edwards, both up for free agency. Pat, where do you stand? Is there a this or that with that, or
obviously you would want to re-sign both, right? Connor McGovern being one of the better centers in the league, David Edwards being a pretty solid left guard. But the way I look at it is, you got to keep David Edwards. You got to let Connor McGovern walk, because at the end of the day, the price gap is significant. And you can't overspend on the offensive line, especially with the rest already bringing back most of our guys like Deion Dawkins, Spencer Brown, Osiris Torrance. So, on top of that, with big contracts already exist, like I just spoke on with Deion Dawkins, Spencer Brown, on the roster, cap efficiency matters.
Yeah, cap efficiency matters. Just to
yes,
I can take the marbles out of your mouth, D-bag. So, I mean,
it's been a while.
Versatility, interior versatility is gold in the NFL.
Yes.
It gets you on the field. A certain continuity when you're going through those gap and duo, tray, and take blocking schemes. That takes a ton of athleticism and continuity, two of which we found in two of our better players. But it does seem that one of them, or possibly even both, what might be exiting the team. Is there this or that? I don't know. We definitely want to give a shout out, a good segue, to our boy, the dog, Mr. AA. I'll bring him up right here. We have contract details all for you. Alec Anderson does ink a contract, 1 year, $3 million with $1.8 million guaranteed. Pat, we were talking before the show. I was texting him earlier. Trying to get him to make us a video here, and all we got back is Eminem's hit "Without Me," and what are the what's the chorus in there? Because it feels so empty without me.
Without
this
me.
It's a guy who can play special teams. This is a guy who
Brings the nasty. He's a dog.
I have on good knowledge that like in McDermott offense, he was kind of given he was given one in some games. Like if you're going to take a PF, a personal foul, make sure it sets the tone that we're not messing around, and we're so really just excited to have Alec Anderson back. We did a little breakdown here for people who want to be in the know of what factors Pat and I believe bring the nasty and bring continuity, technique, and consistency to the offensive line. So we broke it down to a couple categories. The factors of which we hold true are the power run game, pass pro mobility, position flexibility, contract cost, and continuity value.
Yeah.
Pat, like as we see that right here, and let me bring this to the side a little bit. How can I get this looking a little better here? That's all right. That looks fine. Whatever. Power run game. I don't think this is going to be much of a debate, just by nature of position. Edwards gets off the ball stronger with a better first punch and a better ability to get those defensive hands off him. While McGovern is not bad at it, I would give the edge to Edwards. Would you agree with that? The power run game?
I would agree with that, yes.
Yeah. So, and the power run game means a lot because when you can dominate on the inside and you have linebackers and safeties over pursuing, that allows for the third door to open. The third door being bouncing it outside. Pass pro mobility, they're both good. They're both okay. But with a big arm like Josh, sometimes getting the opportunity to knock down the big cat paw and keeping those running lanes open so nothing gets deflected is more paramount than inside mobility, just because these are both two inside players. Position flexibility. Guard only, David Edwards. We do know that. Guard and center for McGovern. The edge I would give there is McGovern, but also Alec Anderson, the big dog. Alec Anderson, in a pinch, could play tackle, of which he played at UCLA. He had a great game against USC, which cements his playing style of getting upfield, especially in some of those screens that a lot of the fans like to comment on in this Joe Brady offense. But McGovern, he's a guard and center versatility, but so is Alec Anderson, a guy we've already committed $3 million to. Contract cost, I don't know if we're going to agree on this here. Edwards is going to probably be likely cheaper than McGovern, just by the PFF Statacast and everything like that. I don't know, man. It's gonna be about NFL need. That's and market value, I think. When it comes to kind of evaluating these contracts, who do you see being a more expensive endeavor here, Pat?
I think the Bills will end up keeping David Edwards. I really do. I think Connor McGovern's going to price himself out of Buffalo unless he's willing to take a pay cut. But like you already mentioned with Alec Anderson, he's a guy he's very versatile. And we have seen that this team and this front office loves the guys that are versatile. And now Alec Anderson did take some reps last year at center. So I do wonder if the Bills do want to try to fill Connor McGovern's role with an Alec Anderson. That's just a thought because there are different holes on this roster that we have to fill, like linebacker, like Julie said, we need to keep Milano. And Shaq Thompson also being a free agent, but more importantly, we need a wide receiver as well. So we got to cut costs somewhere.
Yeah, we absolutely do, because the costs are going to be stacking up no matter how much the salary cap cements itself. I think we have a pretty good idea of where that is going to be at. The fourth point of the offense we got is we already know that he'll be back on the team this year. He's a contender for a restructure. But Pat, let's bring up. We're both portly dudes. I am absolutely more athletic and in shape than you are. That's not a debate.
Got it.
Yep. I'm glad you took the L on that.
Doubt it.
But Pat, you brought to my desk a clip about Dion and his off-season preparation and what he wants to be doing. You want to play that clip, and we're gonna break it down, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, let me find it right here. But while I'm finding it, I know you're a big Dion Dawkins fan, so I know you're gonna love this.
I'm going to come back the lightest that I've ever been for this offseason, and I want to play towards the lightest that I've ever played in my career. And I plan on playing in the 320 range this year.
All right.
And I'm going to shoot for a different type of vibe for my career. Like, I've been playing a certain way, but me and Will have a good plan for what is next for Dion with my style of play.
His style of play. Now, here's a big thing, Pat. What is Dion Dawkins listed at?
320.
How tall?
6'3".
6'3", 6'4", 320. For anybody sitting out there that thinks just because the Bills Media Guide puts out a statistic or a number, if he's talking about he wants to play the lightest he's ever played at 320, that means that roster listing is not true. We know that, like, you know, the training room for a while, and especially for Dion, they put him on, and for most players, you have a standard deviation, I believe, around probably 1.5 to 2.5 pounds. Fitz talks about coming in 1 week at like 38 years old, you know, half a pound overweight and being fined $5,000. These guys have to play within a standard deviation of plus or minus 1.5 to 2.5 pounds, whatever the training room sets you at. And I have always said that Dion playing slimmer, and I know I was unkind at one point calling him a bag of milk, but that was a season he probably ballooned to like 350, which I don't think is a very functional weight for him. What do you make of his commitment to playing lighter as he gets older?
Yeah, I think it's risky because, you know, when your anchor strength matters against power, right? And we already see that sometimes Dion Dawkins does struggle against the finesse guys. Going back to that Houston game with Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. So that definitely matters in power defensive ends in cold weather and playoff games. You know, too light. We don't want Dion Dawkins to get too light to where he can't stop the bull rush. Because right now, with his size and his body and his mass, he's really good at those bull rush moves. Right now, it's the finesse moves that are getting him, and I don't want him to cut his weight because then he might be more vulnerable to the bull rush as well. He might be a little bit better with the finesse, but let's not make.
I'm not. Well, which one is it? You can't take both sides. You can't lose weight to face.
I think
face his finesse and then be risky. I think it is a weighted risk, but clearly what we're not looking at is he probably didn't feel his best at the weight he was currently playing at, which I estimate to probably be around 340. 320, absolutely no fucking shot. But with that, like, he does have the ability, you know, to really, really play not just at a Pro Bowl level, but an all-pro level. When you see how athletic and quick his footwork is, it's incredible. His foot quickness, as well as grinding these games with endurance. If you're playing lighter, you are just naturally more. You have more juice when it gets in. And a great point from Julie here. You can lose weight and gain muscle. From what everybody tells us, everyone tells us that Dion Dawkins on the flat bench press is a freak of nature, an absolute freak of nature. So I'm never concerned about him losing that muscular tenacity. It's all the kick slides backwards. It's the dynamicism of the finesse rushers, like you said. I mean, could we call just the guys on our side? How many hybrids like Bosa do you see? You see a few, but you see like a lot of single-digit stand-up outside linebackers coming at Josh, because we know Josh has to be contained, and you have to get after him quick and not let these downfield route trees come to fruition. The longer Josh has the ball, he's almost gone the way of Patrick Mahomes, where originally when Josh would have the ball for a while, I'd be like, cool, get rid of it. No. And then when Patrick Mahomes would have the ball, I'd be like, oh no. Shoot.
Oh no.
Absolutely. No, it's breaking down. It's
Get
playground
him,
ball.
get him.
We don't have a playground currently on this roster, a playground wide receiver who is going to maximize downfield damage the longer plays go on. And with Dion's endurance, hopefully these plays do continue. Going on to some questions I have for you, Pat. I wrote these down.
Okay.
We're going to see how dumb or smart you are, okay? Let's have a debate. which current offensive lineman is most replaceable?
See, now this kind of contradicts what I said earlier with re-signing David Edwards and letting Connor McGovern go. But I think David Edwards is the most replaceable. I mean, Deion Dawkins, Pro Bowler, which does the Pro Bowl even matter? Obviously, I think all pros matter more, but it's definitely David Edwards.
David Edwards. Okay, running it back. Which one is most irreplaceable?
Deion Dawkins. Deion Dawkins. This is continuity with Josh Allen. You know, we know what we're going to get out of Deion Dawkins year in and year out. We're starting to get that way with Spencer Brown too. The last 3 years,
I think a healthy Spencer Brown is the most irreplaceable.
That's true, but he was healthy last year too, wasn't he? Minus that little shoulder thing that flared up.
Shoulder, but it was a back issue too. It was a back in the preseason. I don't think Ryan Vandermark is okay. I think when we talk about the most replaceable or irreplaceable players, we have to think about who backed them up, right? We saw a lot of Vandy. Vandy did extremely well, right?
He did.
Got some stuff we see Alec Anderson, who we are absolute stands for. He can replace in. I think the most replaceable player is whatever position that Ryan Vandermark and Alec Anderson decide to take over and inflict their will on this year. I expect to see a ton more out of RVD, hopefully, this next season. What do you tell me right now across the offensive line? All right. I have a big question for you on this one.
Okay.
Are the Bills more built for pass protection or run dominance?
When you look at it last year, Josh Allen, the year before last year, Josh Allen was when he sacked 14 times, right? Going into last year, Josh Allen was sacked over 30 times. And then we saw the emergence of James Cook in the Bills running game. So right now, I would like to say we're really good at both, but right now I think our offensive line is better in the run game.
Yeah, but what are we built for? Not that we succeed the most at. What are we built for, I think?
We're built for letting Josh Allen drop back and throw the ball. That's what we're built for. The off-script playmaker, we know Deion Dawkins speaks about it all the time, and so does Spencer Brown. Being able to guard for Josh Allen when he's rolling around back there. Look, we saw it against Miami, where Josh Allen rolls out left, rolls out right, then goes back around, then finds Curtis Samuel for a 10-yard gain.
I think it's a very easy question. We should and we need to be built for pass protection. James Cook can do more with less. Josh cannot. We cannot put any more type of pressure with giving less to Josh. And to my final debate question here, does the offensive line play determine playoff success more than our wide receiver talent? That's going to be a big question as to where we allocate a lot of our capital. Is it going to be what's going to be more determinative of playoff success? Is it going to be offensive lineman play or the wide receiver talent we have to bring in?
The wide receiver talent we got to bring in, because when you look at the AFC Championship game against Kansas City, Matt Collins was our leading receiver, right? And even in that game, we felt like we needed another guy. We didn't have nobody. We had Shakir, but that was it. And with the way we're using Shakir right now, he's not really a factor in that. We need one more guy. And then we fast forward to the divisional round against Denver. We had to bring in a Brandon Cooks, who's 33 years old, which I think can still ball. But we need more because we're not getting that out of Keon Coleman right now. We're getting out of Shakir, but that's it. We didn't even have a 1,000-yard receiver. I think Shakir finished with like 800. We need more.
Yeah, it's a super easy question for me to answer. Do we need to invest in offensive line play or wide receiver talent? I know we have never, in recent memory, outside of Diggs, really invested in wide receiver talent.
No.
Why we haven't Go ahead.
Well, John Brown, Cole Beasley, we brought them in the Cole Beasley was a good signing. I know John Brown was John Brown.
Investment, not signing.
Okay.
There's got to be an investment somewhere.
No. Outside Stephon Diggs, no, we haven't.
And when we have with Curtis Samuel, who do you think he's going to remain on the roster there, Curtis Samuel?
Well, we did hear Joe Brady say in his first press conference as a head coach. Somebody asked, "Well, is it a head coach's system that you're playing with?" He said, "Yes." I do wonder now because look how good Curtis Samuel was when Joe Brady was the offensive coordinator in Carolina. He was almost 1,000-yard receiver. So I do wonder if Joe Brady has bigger plans for Curtis Samuel now that it's purely his own system.
Look how Cole or Hardman did. He was a you know. It almost seems like the people that we came in like, yo, remember when we used to get in fights that when we let Harrison go about like us patching together a veteran minimum contract, offensive, defensive line with minimum contracts and just saying go play. It seems like that has migrated to the wide receiver room. Like we hope for upside of which was captured briefly or never quite seen. And we think that's going to materialize here based on the gunslinger we have. I mean,
we have Josh Allen. Let Josh Allen go be Josh Allen. Let him make stuff. Because, up until 2 years ago, Josh Allen was elevating his wide receivers, right? Look, bringing Stephon Diggs, he has the best years of his career. Same thing with John Brown. And then, Matt Collins had a solid year. I think that's what the Bills front office was hoping for out of guys like Curtis Samuel, right? And Josh Palmer. Obviously, Josh Palmer's season ended due to that hip drop tackle, which was not flagged, or he did not get fined for. But that's a conversation for a different day. I think that's what they're hoping for. You have Josh Allen, it'll fix all the problems. But clearly the last 2 years it has.
Yeah, well, what a lot of these guys are going to be doing right now is getting hyped up and getting ready, no matter who we have in the offseason. And Patty, I think I just wanted to talk to you just from experience and talk to some of the guys and stuff like that. What does an offensive lineman's off-season look like? From January to February, man, it's all about recovery. It's joint rehab. It's mobility restoration. It's a body composition reset. It's really hard. It's really hard to go charging in the weight room. And as Matt and I always say, I think Matt's probably sleeping right now. Is what Matt and I always say is the healthiest you're going to feel is when you're up on that training table getting your ankles taped before the first day of contact.
Yep.
And with that, there has to be a reset, a decompression after the season. And that happens typically from January to February. And then what you'll see a lot of these guys doing is these destination strength and power camps, weight programs, everything like that. And their goal there is, redeveloping a lot of posterior chain development, working on their grip again. Holding happens every single play in the every single offensive play, right?
Yep.
Every single offensive play. It's just if it's egregious enough to be called, and they have to do a lot of grip, a lot of restoration just to build back almost like the metal shield of which they're tasked with playing with. I mean, you're gonna work out like like with such a taxing and brutal game, staying healthy is kind of antithetical to weightlifting when you're going through these car accidents, because when you're weightlifting, you're tearing muscle to then build it back up with protein. I think with a lot of these players, you're losing a lot of muscle, and it's really a unique focus to maintain testing level strengths of which everybody wants to come up and be healthy. The third thing people are going to be focusing on as we get closer to optional team activities is you're tightening up your pass set mechanics, testing out new equipment, doing a ton of mirror drills, reaction-wise, and a ton of hand simulation, hand fighting, stuff like that.
Wax on, wax off, yep.
Yeah. Who right now would you love just to get a gander at in terms of like what their off-season routine is? Like, I would love to see Hoyt, what like Hoyt's doing right now. Like just to
I think about just offensive line.
Well, offensive line and defensive. I'd like to see even what Travis Clayton is going to be doing. Travis Clayton, I think, is in the last year of his international exemption, being a bloke from I think the Everton area. I'd love to see what those guys are doing and who they're training with, because that always makes big news. Josh is training with him. Dion's training with him. Who would you like to see to peer into and see kind of who's doing what right now?
Well, it's bad when your owner calls you out. You know who I'm talking about, Keon Coleman. A lot of noise about Keon Coleman. I want to see what he's doing. Obviously, his cousin is CeeDee Lamb. Are you working with your cousin? Your cousin's very good at what he does.
A lot of people have pledged their services, like Chad Ochocinco, Terrell Owens.
Andre Reed.
They've all pledged their services. I'd be interested in if where his mentals are going to be at. If he takes his time to reset and both in his mind and his body. But yeah, that's a really, really good one.
I do want to say,
Yeah, go ahead.
Keon Coleman has had that attitude this year where it's a fuck you world tour, right? You've got to prove everybody wrong. Even your own owner, your own boss does it. It's calling you out publicly.
Yeah, I think this is like too maybe late of a podcast and too. I can see that Twitter's down right now if we're seeing it that long. I guess maybe this is a podcast clip. There were a lot more issues in that locker room with Keon than they came to media light. I know the part of there were a lot of fights with training staff. There were fights with very senior players in the parking lot over stupid shit that never really came to light. And I think it says a lot about the composition and morale of this team under McDermott and Brady that a lot of that venom didn't leak out to the papers, so to speak. Or maybe the beat just had a little bit more couth than I give them credit for not reporting on some of these stories that we've heard, like, as a network. Are you over the Keon experiment? And can we call it an experiment? Because I think this is like almost like, is it dollar cost averaging? Like, but it was such a high cost. And keep in mind, he is not a first round pick. We don't have the optionality of riding out a fifth year. He's coming up on either maximize his trade value or pounce on the first opportunity to cut bait. Where are you at with that, bud?
Yeah, no, I know Julie said she's over the Keon Coleman experiment, but when I look at it is, how are the guys besides obviously JSN in that draft class, how are they shaping out? Let's look at Xavier
Why
Legette.
does that matter?
Because everybody's gonna say, oh yeah, who did the Bills pass up on instead of taking Keon Coleman, right? So who are we comparing Keon Coleman to? Because I mean,
anybody else that you can plug into that position and get a better return. It's not just the guys he came up with. I mean, Eric Wood quotes it best. Like, a lot of some of these meetings happen not super early. They're like 9, 10 a.m., all that other shit. And a lot of the people are getting to the facility at 7 a.m. to get like their cold baths in, their work on the undermounted treadmill, just like tune up their bodies with ice and stim and all that other stuff. If you can't make a 9 or 10 a.m. meeting, as Eric Wood said, just stay in college, bro. Like, this is a fucking grown man game, and it's absolutely insane. Like, yes, someone on Twitter was just like, he's just a kid and stuff like that. Like, nuh-uh.
No, you're playing a grown man game.
We were all, I think, to our listeners, a lot of us were into our careers where if we were going to make it some type of parsing of how it relates to us, showing up to these meetings, doing bare minimum, and then kind of having that attitude of not holier than thou, but I can't be bothered to be accountable is poor form. It's very uncouth.
It is. Now, to answer your question, though, I'm not over the Keon Coleman experiment because, yeah, sure, he is immature, but I think there obviously is room to grow, and you do have guys in the locker room that have said that, like Josh Allen, Deion Dawkins, etc. And now I'm pretty sure, Brandon Cooks has maybe said how Keon Coleman can grow as well. You got guys like Andre Reed that reach out, Chad Ochocinco. But I'm not over the Keon Coleman experiment for this reason. Joe Brady said the best thing that could have happened to Keon Coleman is Joe Brady becoming head coach. That tells me that Joe Brady wanted him.
I'm on my phone right now, like just tweeting and shit like that. I'm not listening to any of this shit. Yeah,
no,
of course he said that, bro. The fucking the owner, like Beyond says it the best. Like if Terry Pagula speaks for 5 minutes at a press conference, that's probably 4 minutes too long. I mean, like the sideshow of an undermining kind of a guy you just promoted, Brandon Beane. Say he does have something in the works on the cooker to get a 5th round or a 6th round pick. I'm
not taking it.
You just derailed that entire conversation by somebody on the inside, very avoidably shelling someone, and now delegating responsibility as if he's not on the roster anymore, and we can assign blame to who fucked up. Like that was such an avoidable thing, and it's been absolutely belabored. But like any comments that come back in goodwill, we've been hearing the goodwill, like he'll get it for far too long. We never heard it about Benford. We never heard really about Ed, who had kind of attitude issues at the University of Houston with Major Applewhite when he was the head coach. We don't really hear it that much, and I'm done giving a pass because it's such a glaring hole for us, the wide receiver room. Maybe it'd just be a pothole if we got some production based on the opportunities he could have created himself and the trust of which he should have command. I'm very wary that when teammates have to speak out in the media defending someone, that there's always a sub-narrative, because if he was doing everything right, it's easier to block out the noise of friction and static from the talking heads when you know you're good inside that building. It doesn't sound like it's good inside that building really for anybody in dealing with him.
It doesn't. But why know what this Keon Coleman situation reminds me of? In a way, sure, but this guy was never discredited for his work ethic. That's Kyer Elam. Just couldn't put it together. On the field, he had flashes just like Keon Coleman.
But it's not the same argument, bro. Kyer Elam was in the accounting world is Philo, first in, last out. He did everything he could to be successful here. I think in the accounting world, again, Keon Coleman is trending towards first in, first out. He does the bare minimum, and we're getting bare minimum production. It's not, we don't have to belabor the point, and I'm not in those rooms, but it's not his body frame. It's not his physical gifts. It's kind of bonehead decision making, not with cleats on. It's a touch of lethargy on the field when he's tasked. When he's tasked with a directive, stuff like that, rounding off routes, not blocking on the backside. When you got a back like James Cook, not blocking on the backside as a wide receiver is crazy, because he can always spring one. And that's the difference between going for 6 and it being first and goal from the 9. So it's kind of where I'm at with that, man. And Julie makes a great point, if you could bring that up. He doesn't want it. I can't speak to that. He doesn't want it. But if he doesn't want 2 knucklehead idiots in New Era caps discussing this live on Twitter, then give us a reason not to. So, anyway, what's your favorite time of the year, Pat? As we come up here of the year, is it the draft? Is it the combine? Is it kind of the optional team activities? Do you like participating in the scouting thing? Shout out Randall Seifert. Shout out the draft.
He's
professor.
So good, man.
He's unbelievable. So, what's your favorite time of the year, man, to get going? Because it does seem like we are full board on to 2026.
Yeah, no, we are. And for me, my favorite time of the year is right after the draft, right when the team gets together, right before camp. That's my favorite time of the year.
So you like when the roster's defined and knowing what we're playing with?
Yes. You kind of get to see what the picture that Brandon Beane is trying to paint, or, the ingredients that he brought in, what are we trying to cook?
Yeah, I hear you, man. And this is kind of the schedule coming up. We're through February, March. Free agency is going to open soon, as well as the penultimate NFL owners meeting that all kicks off from March 13th, March 24th. That weekend. The NFL draft slated for the 25th and the 27th. You'll get all your coverage here for the Do Champions Network. You got rookie mini camps coming in. You have UDFA camps where some diamonds in the rough hopefully will surface. And then July straight to training camp, which will be, again, for the millionth year at St. John Fisher. And then in August, we're straight up and running off. Pat, man, what are you fidgeting on in your desk right now? I can hear everything.
Can you? It's weird. It's my phone. My phone's vibrating. That's it. Mine's right here.
Yeah, you are giving me some Keon vibes of a guy in a meeting, probably posting TikToks and stuff like that. Pat, what you got coming up?
I don't post TikToks.
We will have coming up for Third and Manageable. I do keep seeing Twitter errors. We've been trying to repost this. Not as many as we normally like to be in here, but whatever. We're here for you. For
a good time, not a long time, right?
We'll be having some guests. I'm not sure if I told you. We will have coming back. We'll have Brian Polian coming up on the show this offseason. We will have Alec Anderson interview, who I just spoke with. We'll be releasing that this week, as well as. Did you ever watch the show Ballers?
Yes, I have.
Ballers. Tell me about your experience of Ballers.
I haven't seen it in a while, so let's not do that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bring up this graphic. You fill time. Ballers, I think, was a fantastic show. It was all the same producers as Entourage and everything like that. It was absolutely awesome. And you had some real players there, like Spencer Strassmore, who was Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He played University of Miami. You had Denzel Washington's son there. You had a ton of people there. And we do have one of those guests coming in. It is Mr. Donovan Carter. Donovan Carter, who played Vernon Littlefield for Ballers. I don't know if I have this tweet up. Do I? Real quick, Donovan Carter. We'll bring
Keon
him.
vibes. Look at this Keon vibes we have going on here. Unprepared?
Yeah, I think so, just a little bit. Where is Donovan Carter? He played at the University of California at Los Angeles. Hang on. We'll bring him up here. We're going to have him on the show. It's going to be great. He's a super chill dude. He's a super awesome dude. He just talks about his grind and everything like that. You can see Donovan Carter right in the middle, in between Rock Johnson. So we have Donovan Carter coming up, as well as nothing but illustrious guests. We'll get Woody back on here, and hopefully Joe Mika from the training room coming up. But, Pat, anything else we need to talk about, man?
Yeah, we will be having Matt Diegert back, too, as well. You want to talk about guys that know what they're talking about, great guys. That's Matt Diegert. I finally got to meet him. I finally got to meet him for the first time last week. That was fun. As well as I finally met you over a few months ago. So that was awesome.
I was hammered, bro.
No, you were shit face.
Yeah, well, okay.
I never seen somebody who was 6'3" get their foot up as high as he did.
I do appreciate that, man. Quick one right here. A quick one, really, really quick one. I do want to do is a segment that we know and love.
Yep.
There are too many white helmets in the NFL. Do you see the Bears might be releasing a new one?
Yes, I did see that.
There's so many white helmets. Is there a conversation? What are we going to bring over to New Highmark Stadium? If you could pick 2 out of 3, we can pick the shout song, the red helmet, or Mr. Brightside.
You have to go with the shout song.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to, but it's tradition, right? It's tradition. You bring the shout song.
I mean, there's no way you bring Mr. Brightside if we don't get a deal done with Knox.
You gotta bring back Mr. Brightside. Come on.
So no red helmet.
Well, I did see this concept. I think it was by NFL graphic designer. Yeah, it was NFL graphic design.
If it's the blue one, stop it.
It's the blue one, or it's an all black helmet with the Buffalo Bills logo. And here's a hot take. Bring these jerseys back too, long term.
Understood. Well, we do want to wrap this up, just because we'd be remiss without mentioning it.
Yeah, I did want to talk about something, but go ahead.
Go ahead too, because I want to end it with this. Then. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So think about the wide receivers very quick, right? We saw that Tyreek Hill got released. He's probably not going to play until late this year if he does.
I don't want Tyreek.
What?
No, bro.
I know his hands are questionable, but that's
Julie had a great tweet, and I don't remember what it was. Julie was replying to some big NFL account, and it was like Tyreek and somebody else at wide receiver. Who's stopping these people? And Julie, because she's like the most kind, witty person, low key ever, was like, I don't know, law enforcement. That is why I wouldn't want to bring him. He's a nightmare, man. He's like. I don't want to touch any of that stuff in such a sensitive room where all our wide receivers acquisitions are going to be so scrutinized. I mean, that is a divisive signing. He's coming from an elite situation in Kansas City to a nuclear situation in Miami. How much do you think his good behavior level reserves are still in that tank? Because when things go bad, go ahead.
How often do things go bad for us, though? Because my thought process to this was, you have Shakir, right?
Okay.
You trade for an A.J. Brown. Then you bring in a Tyreek Hill who's ready to get paid for Miami.
I'm not letting you get away with that. Who are you trading? Or what?
You can cut Curtis Samuel. You
said
can
trade. You said trade.
No, you trade for AJ Brown,
What are you trading?
Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer,
And what else?
second, or whatever it takes.
So we're going to give him a rusty tricycle and in a carrier basket for a very highly coveted wide receiver. You don't think another team is going to be able to match the toothpick?
First and a third.
Question.
Yeah.
The NBA lets you kick down trading future draft picks all the way out to 5 years. Currently, the NFL is 3 years. There's discussions about extending being able to trade your potential draft picks all the way out to 5 years. Where are you at with that, man?
I'm all for it. Maybe then we'll see some bigger trades. We see some more stars traded, but that will bring up the trade value for some players, like a Justin Jefferson, like a
So you're arguing against yourself.
I am. It's been a while.
It doesn't scare you that like you're going to see more teams like the Dolphins are about to go through leveraging their entire future if you're giving them more potential vehicles to include in trades. Or look at the Browns, like the way they threw away their future just based on one player. I mean, I love this clip from Whittle.
From what got cut from the Browns, like no disrespect to the Browns, but if you get cut from the Browns, man, it's probably Toronto Argonauts for you after that. I mean, it's just not many teams worse than that Browns roster.
And that's about to be Keon Coleman. Oops. If he doesn't shape up. That's a clip.
Unfortunately, yeah. All right, we're going to round this up. Instead of who are you talking to, Pat, we're going to talk about something we do not know all the details of, and we'd be remiss without that. Rondale Moore, unfortunately, met his untimely death today. A young man, only 26 years old, had stints with the Cardinals and the Vikings. Hopefully this doesn't fall on deaf ears or seem inappropriate, but I just want to wish a time of healing and peace to begin as soon as possible for his family. You never want to see a young man lose his life. Details are not available about how he met his demise, but just I want to end this podcast instead of who you talking to with thoughts and prayers for losing somebody in the brotherhood and the community of which we all get so much pleasure from. So sad. So, hey, Pat, man, it's good. We got a little skeletal episode of the Third Manageable podcast down there. Anything else you need to talk about? Nope. Hey, Pat!
Good to be seen.
All right, hit that intro, buddy. Hit that outro, whatever your sister's ass. See you later, buddy.
All right, see you later.
If Woody had gone right to the police, this would never have happened.
Uh-oh.
So there are liberties being taken. Like there's going to be an increased amount of shit talking.
Well, thank God you're with your core counsel.
Yeah, get my shit.
I have to remind myself I'm here willingly.
Catch one with a little bit of attitude, big guy.
Man, you champion son.
It's a kangaroo court.
How is the NFL a kangaroo court?
Could you please let me explain why?
No, I don't want to hear this garbage. Give me an answer to the questions I asked you.
What the fuck are we doing? You represent something bigger than yourself.
Come on, baby!
Let's go, Buffalo. Talk to you later.
They are fucking. Undertaker.
I hate it. I'm out.